So here we go then, Group B of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, Zubu Frost versus SK-gamimg, game one of the day. Jack, what do you think to these lineups?
These are really interesting lineups. I feel like Azubu got everything they could have dreamed of based on what the bans were. They banned out Mad Live Blitzcrank, but aside from that, they really have the power picks that they've had all through OGN.
We've just seen that Azubu actually walking straight over the top of that SK-gamimg ward, and I'm wondering how that is all going to affect this very, very early game, this level 1 fight, whether SK are going to come around and figure out what they can do here. We can see a pause, number one. So not sure what really the problem is with that one, but we can analyze at least this little situation that we've got at the start. Azubu off by the blue side. SK did spot them with that early ward, but once they're in the jungle, they've got no more vision there to really pin them down and know exactly where they're going to be.
And the level 1s are always so intriguing, especially when you practice and prep for so long with these teams. The best advantage that SK has in this matchup, in all honesty, is probably their level 1. Because SK hasn't really played in any competitive tournament since the Season 3 patch, with all the new wards out, with all the new starting items, no one's been able to prepare for anything they've came up with, but they have a mound of games from Azubu Frost that they can analyze to decide what to go through. And just off the little bit we've seen, with Azubu running through the ward, SK has an early advantage as we're now back into the game.
So let's see then how this one all pans out. You see ward put down there by Azubu Frost, and it looks like they are going to be headed south, and they are going to be going over the top of another ward here, so that SK know the exact position of Azubu. If we look over towards SK's position, they are also invading up on this top side.
And the great thing is, SK is completely unspotted. The ward that Azubu has placed was at SK's blue buff, but surprisingly SK backed off. They almost misread the situation a little bit. They were completely invisible as far as Azubu was concerned, and it looks like after all of that posturing, we're going to see really basic, normal openings for the junglers.
So what are we expecting in terms of lane here, Jack? Because Shy, with this Kha'Zix, is he going to be switching up and trying to put that early pressure down onto Ocelot? How is this all going to be facing off?
It's going to be really, really interesting to see how Shy does against SK, because when these teams met last, it was in the group stage of the World Finals, and if anyone remembers Shy's Singed, it was almost his coming out party for how great he can be at League of Legends, and he basically 2v1'd Kevin and SK's jungler at the time, RNA, and destroyed them with Singed. Kha'Zix is almost regarded as one of the most OP champions right now, and letting that fall to him, Kevin picking Olaf, another highly contested pick, is really going to show us either how far Kevin has come or how dominant Shy still is.
Well, let's have a talk about this bottom lane as well. Misfortune Sona against Ezreal, Zyra, and obviously Candy Panda and Nif is, and you can almost call it an old school bottom lane here from SK. These guys were in the original SK lineup. These guys, you know, performed well with SK before. They've finally been reunited after a few changes here and there. What do you think to this bottom lane?
I mean, Candy Panda and Nif were in game DE as they get it. Kites on a Mad Life.
Wow, first blood coming out there for Zyra as well, just as we're breaking it down. It shows exactly how it's going to come in, and that's the danger with the root, Jack.
And this is just years and years of synergy between Nif and Candy Panda, because these guys played on the same team Season 1 DreamHack League of Legends Championship. We're in Season 3 now, and they're still playing together, but the Zyra pick, especially landing that root, not many people are playing support Zyra anymore with the decreased speed on that E, but Nif still landing them, gets another hit on the Woo.
Amazing stuff once again. Nif really timing these ones to perfection. We can see that the ping's going down in and around this middle lane. Rapid Star actually waiting off here. I think they did ping off to a Mumu's position, so they've got an idea that he was actually there. I don't see any ward though, so it's just good intuition from Rapid Stars. We are going to see the spear land, but can they lock him down here? The Templar coming in from the side, and Hercubot decides, I'm probably not going to go for this one.
It's a pretty safe escape by Rapid Star. Running into that brush as he goes all in with a Mumu.
Going in a bit too deep here. This could actually come back to bite them. Hercubot going fairly low there, but Rapid Star not able to put the damage down quite enough to finish him off. And a couple of tense moments here early on, Jack.
The max range bandage scared me a little bit as Hercubot didn't realize Cloud Templar was there. Luckily, no one really had to burn any summer spells and they were able to disengage, but really early, SK came out extremely strong.
And we can see here in the top lane as well, Kevin take a lot of damage from Shy. Is he going to go through? Yes, he is. Flash Ignite goes down. Extra damage comes in. He's got a pot running. Will it be enough, though? No, it won't. Shy takes out Kevin.
Let's hope, for SK's sake, that that doesn't continue to happen, because this was the matchup that really sealed SK's fate back in the World Finals. Shy completely obliterated the top lane. It sucked the jungler up. The entire map just moved towards the top lane, and there was nothing SK could do to come back. Giving up a first blood that early, now double minions for Shy over Kevin, is really, really bad. It's going to be interesting to see how SK decides to play that, whether Hercubot tries to come up and camp Shy, or whether they try to win the other 4 members on the team.
And I'm sure there are people in chat right now saying, why are they not banning Kha'Zix against these Korean teams? Because we've seen him so very often when he sneaks through the bans. He is just a formidable force. And well, as you said, from Kevin's point of view, he has to hope that that one doesn't get out of control in his top lane. He is back in there now, but 37 to 19 CS. We can see that the Brutalizer is already done there for Shy as well on Kha'Zix. So that's just a bit more pain, well, a lot more pain even, that's going to come out the next time he jumps on him. And
considering it's just the health crystal coming from Kevin, really scary. And it's one of those things that's just, there's too much to ban against a team like Azubu. We know Mad Life Blitzcrank, one of the most legendary supports in all of Korea. They had to ban that one out. All of Azubu's bans against SK were targeted directly at what Ocelot and the rest of SK plays, and the stuff just snuck through. I mean, Kevin picked Olaf and left Kha'Zix open, and they have to be able to deal with those things if they want to make it against a team like Azubu.
41 to 26 CS with that kill in Shy's favor as well. So Kevin gonna have to be playing defensive in this one. This bottom lane as well. I'm hovering over the key to get down there because there's gonna be a very quick thing that's gonna happen in this bottom lane. We saw the roots coming out already from Nif. He is looking on form and you know, played with another German player in there as well, which you can't ever underestimate, the fact that these two can communicate in their own language if needs be to get, you know, to speed that whole communication process up.
One of the subtleties of the European lineup, sometimes the language barrier does come into it, but I really got to hand it to Candy Panda and Nif getting that early first blood onto Woong and Mad Life. I mean, you pick something like Misfortune down there so you can bully the lane. The fact that they were able to take control of that lane fairly early and now hold that 6 minion kill advantage over them, just based on the reputation of these teams, SK hasn't done anything very impressive lately, and Azubu Frost has been dominating in Korea. 300 gold early on in the game like this is looking pretty good for SK as they try to shut down Shy up top.
Let's see what they can do with this one. They already pinged Shy's position, but can Hercubot get in? He's level 6, so does have the Curse of the Sad Mummy available. Shy is going to go straight into him. Oh, he's missed a bandage tosser. That could cost them. And there is the jump away from Shy. And that will be all she wrote in terms of a gang in this top lane, but could have been a different story if that bandage toss had done its job early.
A lot of times you'll see a Muumu's, if you're going to go all in on a gank, ult first to guarantee the bandage toss lands. And I feel like that might have been something Hercubot wanted to do there if they're going all in for a kill. But if he's not leading with an ult, he was basically just looking to burn a summoner spell. Didn't even get that. Both of the summoner spells were honestly already down. He should have led with ult there and they might have gotten a kill.
In this top lane again, Kevin being slowed out. Shy does have that level advantage on him as well, which certainly never to be underestimated. We can see that Shy only just level 6, and sorry, Kevin just level 6 and Shy halfway through level 7 already. 62 to 33 CS, keeping that double lead at the moment, as we are going to see actually here in the jungle. Ocelot and Cloud Templar just meeting up somewhat. Hercubot was there. The blue buff is now available to be picked up by SK, and I'm wondering if Azubu are going to have a go at it.
SK's got to be really careful right here because Rapid Stars reach that point where Twisted Fate can just go anywhere. If they don't have vision on him, bot lane has to be careful, Hercubot has to be careful. There's the TF ult. Is he going?
Yeah, he is going. It's down towards his bottom lane as Nif taking a lot of damage, but Rapid solo. Woong is going to take down Nif, though. That's the move that they were looking for. But here comes the teleport. Ocelot coming down. Curse of the Sad Mummy goes in onto Woong. He will cleanse out of that, but that won't be enough to keep him alive. But he does pick up the kill there right at the very end of it. Ocelot going to chase down with a spear to try and finish off, but that won't be enough even if it would have landed. A fantastic action-packed fight.
Ocelot trying to counter Rapid Star's Twisted Fate ult with his teleport summoner spell, but it wasn't quite enough. Honestly, Woong squeaked out both of those kills. Double Up got both of them for him. First one with a bounce, second one just after his auto attack, and that really is a big win for Azubu because that was the lane they were having the most trouble with. Shy's completely fine up top because Woong and Mad Life had given that first blood in bottom. They really needed to take control. Woong getting that double kill with Misfortune might give him the edge over Candy Pan and Nif down bot.
Yeah, and what has he picked up there? Straight into the Brutalizer, plus a Vamp Scepter. Got a Doran's Blade in there as well, so a good set of items for 9.5 minutes into this game. We'll see how that affects this whole encounter in the bottom lane. Obviously, Twisted Fate Ultimate, we've got to be on the ball with that one. Or certainly I have, pressing the right buttons to keep following him when he's scooting around the map. But Kevin here going to be forced back home once again, around about halfway through level 7, and Shy is already up to level 9. So getting a little bit out of control there, Jack.
Kevin's really just trying to get as much health as he can as quickly as possible because he does not want to let Shy get out of control. I really want to see how the item builds between Shy and Woong on Kha'Zix and Misfortune develop. I'm pretty sure Hercubot's just trying to harass Shy a little bit there because with the Brutalizers, we've seen really a lot of Brutalizers straight into Bloodthirsters and not as many Black Cleavers as I'd almost expected to see recently. With the double AD, I'd expect Woong to get the Black Cleaver early, but we've seen Bloodthirsters lately, so I'm just curious what they're going to go.
So let's have a look at the CS across the map here. Twisted Fate behind to Nidalee 10 CS, and well, obviously did go out of lane with the use of that ultimate. Ocelot did, though, follow it up with his teleport after that one, so it is Ocelot that's got the slight lead with that one. There's someone going a little bit low there. In terms of the top lane, we've already touched on that one. I mean, there's a BF sword now being picked up as well by Shy here, which is, well, even more pain, let's say, for Olaf, although he does have that giant spell now brought up. Jungle pretty even, 56 to 49. And down in this bottom lane, we are seeing the ultimates coming in. Madlife going to fall very, very low, but can they get in to finish off here, SK? They didn't want to be pushing their luck, even though Nif was on half HP still. They pretty much used everything to try and get in on that fight.
And they really didn't want to overchase because they know the global threat that is within Azubu's team comp. Cloud Templar's ultimate is almost up again. Rapid Star's Twisted Fate ultimate is usable, and it's going to be really on Ocelot and the rest of SK to put persistent pressure on lanes to keep down Rapid Star's ganking potential. Already here, you can see Hercubot is wanting to gank bottom, but he just can't quite make it through.
Let's have a look what he can do from that. And there is a ward in the river itself, so he's going to have to come through that lane. And for that, they need to push these minions back somewhat, which may even give the game away on that position. There is also a ward here in the brush as well, so even if Hercubot gets through, there's not a lot that he can really do about it, but instead just charges through the lane, tries to force them away somewhat.
Look at this build item, though, on Rapid Star. He's got a Twin Shadows on Twisted Fate as he goes in for gank bot.
Yeah, bottom gank is coming down. There is the ultimate coming out of Madlife, and absolutely crazy stuff there. Nif not having a chance whatsoever to survive any of that damage, and he goes straight out. There's the ultimate coming out of Ezreal just to try and force them away from this turret. This could well be the first one of the game. And I'm just going to quickly have a look up towards top here because Shy was only putting damage down. That's not going to be a kill in there. Meanwhile, we do have Ocelot here in the middle doing as much damage as he can. Once that Twisted Fate comes out of lane, he tries to push this Autor turret.
And Azubu really put a bunch into that last gank. It was amazing timing. Cloud Templar actually Shen ulted in with Rapid Star, so after the TF stun card, they could have taunted to follow up. There was really no escaping that gank from SK's side, but the counterplay is that since they put 4 people bottom, you have to create pressure elsewhere, and that's exactly what Ocelot was trying to do.
Now Rapid Start does come back into the lane. Hercubot coming off to the side there, but that's not going to be enough to get the work done. Ocelot did go a little bit low, but, well, he's got that heal. He's got great sustain in this lane, does Ocelot. Top lane, as we said, that BF sword was finished there on Shy, and he's maintaining, you know, around this 30 to 40 CS lead that he's had the whole time. He's, in terms of levels, what, 10 right now as a bottom lane. We are going to see some action going down as well. Not too much, though. It was just the ultimate from Zyra, which didn't quite get the desired effect that they were looking for.
And talking about that top lane between Shy and Kevin, considering the disaster that happened early when Kevin gave up first blood 1v1 to Shy, he's hanging in there pretty well. A lot of times you'll see that top lane completely snowball through. Kevin's done a good job keeping his distance, farming with his axe, and just staying in the game. It doesn't mean that Shy's not going to take over because he's completely free farming against him, but at least Kevin is keeping himself relevant.
Now we've got a Moo headed up in towards this top lane. Let's have a look at Shy's position. See exactly what he can do with this one. Does have flash available. Well, he's hard to pin down anyway, that's for sure, as we are going to see him jump away. Bandage toss will land. There is Curse of the Sad Moment, but look at the damage, but Shy is going low. Ignite is burning, and there is the finisher. Kevin will pick up the kill, and that will bring SK back to 4-3 in this one. The goal a little bit still, though, in Azubu's favor.
Hercubot landed the bandage that time, and it got them the kill, but you can see the immediate counterplay by Azubu, knowing that they just burned both the ultimates. Azubu's going straight down. They're going to get this one for free. And basically, SK is trying to trade the tower for it top.
Yeah, and they are going to be surely taking this tower down with them as well. Actually, no, they've got no minions left from that. They're going to have to wait for that next wave. We'll see if they can actually get back around here, Azubu, and yet SK not wanting to go too risky on that. They know that Twisted Fate could end up coming to greet them, but that middle tower is taken down by SK, which is, you know, pretty much all Ocelot's work there. We saw him, yes, they lost those kills at the bottom, but he was doing a lot of damage to that tower, and, well, it's just paid off for them right there.
And you can see it almost in the way he's building. The Tear of the Goddess and the Needed Sea Large Rod makes Ocelot really, really powerful. I've actually been watching that lane a bit more as we've been going around. He's landing a lot of spears onto Rapid Star, which is making him go back more than frequently.
And in terms of the current vision that we've got going down, let's take a look on this one. It's pretty much just the traps from Ocelot there on that side. Not too much, though, down from Azubu Frost side of things. Let's have a look at SK, and you can see that they do have that bit more vision on their side of things. They are still behind. Obviously, they did lose out on that last dragon. So next one coming up at 20 minutes and 32 seconds. Still a good way to go for that one. But interested to see whether SK can finally push down this top turret, which they weren't able to do earlier with Kevin and Hercubot.
So, quick recap as well. 2,000 gold advantage already accumulated for Azubu. So if it continues like this, it's probably not going to work out too well for SK-gamimg. So you can see the Twin Shadows actually coming up from Rapid Star. That's the item he rushed. It's not that great in lane, as Kevin actually goes all in on Shy. He's going to chase this down, doesn't decide to dive.
Yeah, landed the axe there as well. It forced actually the flash to come out of Shy. So flash burn, obviously Ghost was used by Kevin, but he knows he can take Shy low now, and that's the beauty of the Olaf, you know, build a load of health, and you're just naturally going to be doing a load of damage with it.
He decided to go Sunfire Cape early instead of the Warmogs we've been seeing so much of. That's just a dual purpose, stopping the armor damage from Shy in the top lane and really making sure he stays in it. Olaf is quite the duelist, and he really made sure. A lot of times, Olaf is a bit of a counter to Kha'Zix in top lane. A lot of times when people will take Kha'Zix against Olaf, they'll throw Kha'Zix mid so he doesn't have to lane up against that, because once he starts getting his items like that, it's very tricky for Kha'Zix to be relevant in the lane.
Right now, Azubu pushing up. They need to be real careful because Hercubot is waiting in the wings. There is the crescendo plus the ultimate coming out of Misfortune. Hercubot there taking damage as well. And I tell you what, Azubu reacting fast there with Cloud Templar coming down with Stan United. And they're actually going to push in and try and get the kill here onto Candy Panda. He will arcade shift away. Templar has to back away. There was the flash out of Misfortune as well. And they don't quite pick it up.
Woong was hoping for another miracle double up bounce there when he flashed in. He was trying to get the extended snipe. It couldn't quite work out for him. That was a bit of a funny situation because Hercubot flashed into ultimate, but then saw Cloud Templar Shen ult in and just whoa, decided to back away from that one. Still saving the Amumu ultimate. They lose the tower, but that could have been a lot worse because they didn't have to burn much, and Azubu did.
And we are going to see the second turret of the game in favor of Azubu Frost going down. That'll be the top outer turret, obviously, along with that bottom one. So, you don't need to be a genius to think that this middle tower may come under a lot of pressure in these next coming moments.
And immediately you can see SK knows it's coming. Everyone's almost collapsing mid. There's Sent, Nif, their support there. They know Candy Panda doesn't need a support to farm that wave down there. They're making sure that they can try to withstand the pressure and push that's going to be coming out from Azubu immediately.
Flash actually on the side. Yeah, flash coming down from Rapid Star. They got the damage though. The ignite is burning. It's not going to be enough to finish off Nif, not quite. But they've got Zyra out of there, and that's, you know, along with the root plus that ultimate that's not quite up just yet. That's a good amount of crowd control that's away from this middle tower now.
Hercubot missing another bandage. They're just continuing the pressure, and the threat is low for SK right now with Nif having to go back. Shy coming down as well. This is going to be really, really hard for them to hold. Another thing to note is Nif on support Zyra rushed to Ruby Sightstone, whereas Madlife on Sona went double gold per 10 items. So the longer this stretches, the support differential is going to become much greater with Madlife getting lead on Nif.
SK trying to push this one out aggressive would be pretty ironic, to be honest, to see them be able to take down this tower. Obviously, Shen pushing. There's the spear landing on towards Woong, and the entire time we are seeing Cloud Templar pushing this bottom lane further and further up on towards that turret. Doesn't want to be going too far, doesn't have Stand United available, so that's kind of his safety barrier that's not there right now.
And look at this, the 2 Bloodthirsters are completed on Azubu again, so they get the early Brutalizer, then rush the Bloodthirster. It seems to be the thing that they have decided to do. Also a Bloodthirster rush on Candy Panda, but no Brutalizer, and this is what SK's game plan needs to be. It's all about the poke, and if they get engaged on, they use Hercubots and Mumu Ultimate to stop it. Here comes the initiation from Azubu, though.
There is a big ultimate coming out. There is bullet time as well, and that will be 1 kill picked up by Azubu again. Goes over to Kha'Zix. Can they get the slow down? Yes, it will land. And there comes Rapid Star from the side as well. That's a second one picked up. It's Whom that will take down Zyra. Here comes a jump in from Shy. He gets another one as well. Kevin not quite falling down from that, but Azubu Frost picking up 3 kills, taking themselves to the tower. I tell you what, Candy Pan is probably not 100% safe here either, and certainly that tower isn't.
I gotta say, Twin Shadows Twisted Fate is really, really cool. He threw out the ghosts, got the slows, and made sure that when he ulted in, no one would be able to run away because he teleported near the targets that had been slowed. That was a great flash initiation at first by Mad Life, realizing that SK was gonna want to just sit around, poke down the turret. Azubu was having none of it. They went immediately. There was no second thoughts. Crushed him down 3-0.
Now we have some problems maybe for Shy. He doesn't really have the mana to work with. Oslo actually going to flash in there. Look at the damage coming down, but the Spirit was actually that was finished there with Ocelot. And that brings him back to 7-4. And now it's a Dragon attempt for Azubu.
Spear straight to the face, but the Dragon is what it's probably going to cost them. Nif won't be able to hold this one off unless they can get a steal.
Yes.
Nice ultimate.
Brilliant stuff there coming out of Candy Panda. Woom now maybe in trouble. Stand Unite is going to come down. Can they turn this one around even? Hercubot going very, very low. He will fall to Woom, who finally gets picked up. Now Cloud Templar is stuck between 3 of them. Nif surely will have that route available to him in a little while, but he's now taking the damage. Can they finish him off? Route thrown out. Mad Life will pick up the kill in the end, and the passive not going to do too much damage either at the end. And again, a nice little turnaround from Azubu, although they did lose Dragon and they lost their AD carry. Worth it, Jack?
I'd say it's worth it. They got the 2 kills, and most importantly, Cloud Templar is becoming a very scary jungler. He's been involved in 8 of their 9 kills. He's got his 2nd Giant Spelled item on the way, and really, one thing that's going to stop SK's extended sieges is the fact that Templar Shen has become so strong that they have to send someone to deal with him. It's really going to put the initiative onto Azubu to do whatever they want.
Black Cleaver is now finished as well. Foreman's Fortune added in to that Bloodthirster from early on, so that's going to be doing a lot more damage as this game progresses. Let's have a look at the other items here. You see Twisted Fate, got that Sheen in there, got himself an Needlessly Large Rod, obviously the Twin Shadows that we already mentioned a little bit earlier on. Nidalee with Ocelot, needlessly, well, obviously there was a Needlessly Large Rod, but it's now a Rabadon's Death Cap is what I'm trying to get at. Still that tier is in there as well, and now we see the Oracles on Mad Life. Is this going to be time for a Baron from Azubu?
It might be time for them to start pushing around. They actually have some really sweet item synergies working out. The Black Cleaver on Woong and no Black Cleaver on Shy, but instead the Last Whisper basically means that Shy is shredding a huge percentage of the damage. The Black Cleaver is more of a supporty item. It shreds the entire team, and then the Last Whisper comes in on top of that, making sure that Shy's assassination, jumping in with that Giant Bug, is really going to take down SK. With everyone posturing around the mid lane here, they don't even need to force a Baron. Mad Life's Flash, once that comes back up in about 40 seconds, they're going to look to probably do the same thing they did earlier when they got the 3-for-0.
And the boots of mobility there on Shy as well. He really wants to be getting involved in the action as fast as he possibly can. What are Azubu thinking now? Rapid Star actually headed down to the bottom, and you know they've got the perfect team for this one with the Shen in there, with the Twisted Fate. They can quite freely be pushing these lanes out. They've just got to be careful because SK have shown here, as we saw in the middle lane earlier on, that they're not scared of just pushing straight back.
They got a few seconds here to poke back at them, but we know that Azubu is not down for this. They will try to initiate as fast as possible. Maybe SK is going to be able to peel off a little bit faster than last time, because they got to remember how that happened. Mad Life's Flash just came back off of cooldown. They're poking back from the sides with Shy and Rapid Star. We could see a fight really soon here.
Yeah, I think Azubu really getting ready for this one. The positions that they've got down Kept that turret alive, and that will force SK to somewhat back away. We know, this poke comp, that's good damage already coming out of those Ninja Spears. You've got Ezreal in there, you've got roots from Zyra, a lot to work with from SK's side of things, but the problem is if Azubu get that initiation, if they get on top of them, well, we've already seen that it doesn't go too well for SK.
It's interesting though, because Azubu only has 3 members in the mid lane. Of course, their globals are split off to the side, but this looks like they might actually be trying to repel the siege a little bit and force SK into doing something else. Azubu holds all the cards here, in all honesty. They're the ones that are going to control the flow, and they've decided for a split push.
Yep, Shen pushing up this bottom lane once again. Does have Stand United, so he can just do whatever he wants from this one. Ocelot is going to go over to cover. That's because basically he's got that teleport coming up next, so he can afford to move off to this lane.
Very good choice there to send Ocelot to stop it, but the problem with that is you send your main poker to stop the split push, and your own push is completely destroyed. So they're no longer able to do their strategy, and they seem contained by what Azubu Frost has decided to do to them.
Ocelot going in there once again, going to get himself a bit of farm. Obviously, Mad Life, as we said earlier on, does have that Oracle's popped. As the pink ward goes in towards that Baron pit as well. SK now knowing that they've got to keep this vision up on this Baron, because if Azubu get a sniff that there is no vision there, they'll probably just go in there and take it.
And they're going to want to make this Oracle's count, because Mad Life consumed that a really long time ago. It's got about 30 seconds left, so they can't posture around Baron for very long. The fact they clean this off now means they should look for a fight. Otherwise, Mad Life will have burned that 400 gold for pretty much nothing. You could see SK didn't realize it was there. Candy Panda actually scouted with his Ezreal ultimate to make sure it wasn't there. But with all of this, Mad Life's Oracle's about to time out. Is Azubu going to go for a Baron, or are they just going to posture around?
Well, it's pretty much one last check in there for Mad Life before that Oracle is gone. And it doesn't look like it. There's more wards from SK there being put down. Hercubot actually going home. He's got around about 1,000 gold to spend, just a little bit under that. And certainly will want to bring some more wards back in there, surely, with him as well. But still, Zubu, I guess, knowing that they've not really got 100%, that's a fantastic route coming out of Nip, right onto Rapid Star's position. We saw some great moves with that Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, actually, was, but that's exactly how you stop a Twisted Fate. That
really shows you how much Nip has been practicing, though. With the recent reduction in movement speed on that Zyra E, timing it so perfectly to get the route as soon as TF teleports in at pretty much max range means he's been playing Zyra a lot recently since the changes. That was an amazing route.
Once again, SK here, all in the middle. Actually, Ocelot is chasing Cloud Templar down here in this bottom lane. Let's see if he can actually pick up anything from this one. He's got 2 levels on him as the spear goes in. Actually, will be dodged by Cloud Templar. And Ocelot at least doing his job of forcing him away from that bottom side.
He's going to have to make a lot more work to make it worth it, though, because trading himself a 250 farm in Italy versus, oh my goodness, look at Shy's damage.
Yeah, Shy coming straight in here on towards Ocelot, who's going to try and dodge himself away. Will get the heal off, but can Shy get in there? The Void Spike, just so much damage coming out there.
He got the isolation, and mainly he had the element of surprise. He went into that brush. Ocelot thought he was completely by himself. It wasn't even a fight, it was just a retreat, and Kha'Zix chases incredibly well.
And now Kha'Zix is coming straight up towards his top lane. I'm sure Ocelot scratching his head a little bit after that one. Wasn't quite expecting just how much damage was going to come out. Dragon is now up and available, and Azubu are going to be the ones that take this one. SK not going to come anywhere near it currently. Let's have a look in terms of their vision, really what they've got. They're going to put a ward down again inside of that Baron pit. And Mad Life has got another Oracle on, by the way. So they're going to be able to weed that one out again. But as we saw yesterday, Azubu Blaze versus MYM, they showed a lot of respect in terms of finishing that game out. That's surely going to be a similar situation here.
They seem to be taking this one slow. They're almost trying to bleed SK out. They know they have an edge, and they're not really taking any risks. It's a really volatile group stage, in all honesty. I mean, yesterday we thought MYM was in. We thought Gamma was completely out, and it can all turn on a single game, even if you have the other 2 in the bag. So really trying to make sure Azubu Frost really wants the 3-0, so even though they're up by quite a bit in this game and have had a lot of control, they're trying to take it slow. Again, though, this is the third time we've seen the middle siege by SK. Will we see a fight this time from Azubu Frost? There's the flash.
Here we go, they are going to push in. Here comes Stan United. Shai's right in the middle. Zyra ulti goes down. Doesn't do too much. There is a crescendo from the side. Here comes Twisted Fate. Curse of the Sad Mommy goes down. The targeting's a little bit all over the place here. Candy Panda will be forced. Take him down there. There's a kill back for Ocelot. And Kha'Zix, of course, did fall in that one as well. Can they turn this around and push Azubu back in this one? It was a 2-point in favor of SK. Bandage shot's going to land onto Woong. And then we will see Cloud10 actually just taunting them away. Hercubot going low. He will go down to Woong. Ocelot is falling low as well. Can he escape from this one? There is the power cord coming out and the finisher from Madlive. And again, it turns around, and Nip is not safe just yet. He will get taunted down. Woong picks up another one, and that is a 4 for 2.
Oh, man.
In what looked like a brilliant trade, turned right around.
Because it was, in all intents and purposes, they got the initiation on, they repelled it, it was 2 for 1, and then they continued. That was when it turned. The damage dealer, Woong, was still alive, and they figured since it was just a jungler and support that they'd be able to take him. But Woong, Templar, and Madlive turned it so well, and SK was so disorganized in the way they went in with the flash initiation, Hercubot getting so far ahead of everyone else, it just turned on its head, and because of that, they're trading back a Baron as the ult just misses it.
Well, we've seen Candy Panda stealing the dragon that way, and he wasn't too far away from Baron, but
close.
As it goes, it belongs to Azubu, and that's the big thing to talk about in this one. I guess everyone's got good chunk of gold to spend, yeah. Miss Fortune 2,700. There is a Last Whisper added into that Black Cleaver Bloodthirster combo that we've seen already picked up, as we may see some action in this bottom lane. Rapid Start is down there with his Twisted Fate, but in the end decides not to push around for that one. So let's take a look at the big picture again. 14 to 7 in kills, 31 minutes in. Shai's sniffing around blue buff. This could be dangerous.
And the big thing to note is it's about a 20% goal lead for all of Azubu, plus the Baron buff means when they look to push, they should be able to go really, really hard. They've gotten the big items. Shai's actually getting pretty tanky. Even Rapid Star is rather resilient on Twisted Fate. He's got 115 armor and 60 magic resist on TF, so when he goes in, he's going to cause a lot of distraction as well. They might try the split push, but as it has been for the past 15 minutes, Azubu Frost has the majority of the control and will dictate this match.
Yep, they're headed up now towards his top lane. Could be expected. He's pretty pushed. Shen is pushing that bottom lane out as well. They know that Ocelot is going to be down there, so that's the perfect opportunity here for Azubu players to push straight down. Let's have a look here at bottom, because Ocelot is doing damage onto Cloud Templar, but to be honest, not really enough to force him away from that one. And the other 4 from Azubu Frost are pushing down. Sorry, will take that inner turret. That's the second one of the game. Of course, the middle one already gone down as well, as we are seeing Ocelot again chasing in, but I'm not sure that he's got the damage for this one. He's going to be forced to retreat away, and Cloud Templar just showing that he is very, very strong and a force to be reckoned with. They've got to deal with him at some point.
Jungler for AP Middle E is not the best trade for them. Yes, he has the teleport up, so he will be able to join if they fight, but this is still going to extend Azubu's push if they decide to continue to go on for that inhibitor. But they might just cycle all the way around, get all the outer inhibitor turrets going, and really, as we saw their brother team, Azubu Blaze, do yesterday, Azubu Frost is really taking their time with this one.
Yeah, really giving SK the respect they need. And if we call a group of death, it was hard to say, to be honest, but SK Fnatic, Azubu Blaze, Azubu Frost, Flays, that's a new one. And absolute legend. Poland obviously as well in this group, but the big 3, I think it could still go either way. Obviously it depends what the likes of SK could show us in this tournament, what Fnatic want to show us, since they have that qualifier for Season 3 coming in next week as well. And
we've even seen, I think it was Crepo from CLG EU said that he thinks SK is a lot stronger than Fnatic right now because they've been practicing so much. Obviously, SK's already qualified for the European League Championship Series, so they don't need to hide things like Fnatic does, but the rest of this group is going to be very intriguing as these teams battle out. Here's the TF ult. Are they going to initiate? Where'd he go?
Yep, they're going straight down on towards Ocelot, who's going to try and escape this one, and seemingly will as well. No, Flash Stun card comes out. There's the wild card, and the finisher from Cloud Templar. Good move from Azubu, and this surely will be a turret down in the bottom as well. Actually, the minion wave's quite pushed down there.
The misdirection almost. You think that Shen is going to be the one to collapse in with the rest of the team, and they collapse onto Shen. I feel like Ocelot got completely caught by surprise, getting the gank onto Shen instead of just having to repel him. That was really smart by Azubu.
That will bring them to 15-7, 58.5 to 44.7 thousand gold. And they've just got a brilliant team for this little setup that they're running. Shen, Twisted Fate going down there at the bottom. Obviously, Twisted Fate doesn't have his ultimate just yet. But in the top side, they've got Shy, they've got Wound, who's going to be doing, between them, doing so much damage. And then they've got the control out of Mad Life if they do have to retreat with the Crescendo.
And as they put pressure on the bottom lane, it's almost like, what do you do against these guys? We saw yesterday, and I know Frost and Blaze are not the same team, but they have some of the same management, and they do practice together frequently. And we saw AZF try to just pick almost the Korean meta against them, and they got stomped because they knew how to counter. And here SK pretty much gave them the Korean meta, tried with their own strategy, and they're getting stomped as well. So what is going to work out against them? This is just a stranglehold of a push.
Yeah, Ocelot needs to hit a lot more spears on his on the defense here, that's for sure. As we are going to see them come in, Root comes down, but that's not quite enough. Wound does get hit, but there is the slow out of Kha'Zix. They should stay safe from this one, although Hercubot is chasing down as well. Can they cut Wound off from this? He's going to try and get in there. Ocelot throws another spear, which doesn't quite connect, and Misfortune is pretty slippery, that's for sure. And as a Twisted Fate ultimate put down as well, and instantly SK decide, let's not push it, let's not push our luck too far.
Yeah, they've seen that one before. The Twisted Fate all comes in, and then for some reason they tend to lose team fights after that. It was really able to scare them off. But in all honesty, that was not something Azubu was going to initiate on. SK probably could have kept chasing, and they realized that as they didn't get pressured whatsoever, taking down the turret and trying to continue this push.
And now they have taken down that inner turret. Obviously, the first one for them of this group stage. Let's see if they can push it any further though. Azubu Blaze pretty much all in the close vicinity. Cloud Templar actually is going to head himself, I think, straight up towards that top lane. No, he's just going to put a ward down in the bush, but may end up just going once again towards that split push position. The Rapid Star Ultimate, around about half of its cooldown right now. And Shen is going to go and do the same over and over again.
And it took them a while, but finally Azubu Frost has some pretty good auras here. The Runic Bulwark got completed on the Cloud Templar. He built that after he'd already completed Sunfire Cape and Warmogs because he needed the first two items for split pushing and then said, all right, now when I come into team fights, we're actually going to win. Then also the Zeke's Herald onto Mad Life, something we haven't seen too much of since it got changed to giving attack damage instead of attack speed, but it's still going to help them overall in these team fights with the group lifesteal. Completely dictating the pace, getting another dragon as they controlled it the whole game. It's desperation time for SK at this point. They've been getting bled out for so long, all of them running down mid lane, trying to rush that tower. Yeah,
they are going to be trying to push in from this one. Azubu Frost are pretty much all going to be coming back, except, of course, from Shen, who's pushing straight through in towards this inhibitory. Ultimate is going to come across, and Shen is already on his way out. Here comes a Crescendo. Bullet time. Curse of the Sad Mummy, not going to be enough to stop them. There's two kills coming down. Twisted Fate going to join the party from the top. Ocelot got no chance of escaping. There's the slow card coming out. They switch their focus onto Kevin. That's a triple kill coming out of Wound. Candy Panda now in trouble as well. Shy decimates him, and that is 40 seconds on pretty much anyone that can stop Azubu winning the game here.
Really nice execution the whole game. Brilliant flanking in team fights. It's not always just TF coming in from behind. We've seen fights where Mad Life gets behind. Templar comes in pretty much whenever he wants with those Shen ults. And that was the desperation move by SK. They were tired of getting bled out, and Azubu said, thank you, we'll take the win. Gets the ace, pushing straight up mid for the win.
First Nexus turret going to fall here. Still 4 seconds until it's